Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole. For those of you who do not know me, and I'm a content creator, I just wanted to get on here and share this word with you, and I pray that it blesses you. So, I know some of us, we go to church or we read the Bible or we are familiar with certain scriptures, but I'm going to try to give you a more realistic understanding, a breakdown of what it means when it says obedience is greater than sacrifice. A lot of times people go through things, but they don't always take the advice that they give or share with you their experience. So, for those of you who are familiar with my channel, you know that I have, a toxic mother. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. And feel free to, go through my videos and watch that. So hopefully what I'm about to say will make more sense for you. So, to set an expectation, I'm the only child. And I don't know my father. So, my mother, raised me by herself, but she had her village, right? Like, our family, because she has brothers and sisters, and she was in the military, so we traveled. So I had my relatives, my blood relatives, but then I had my family, which is my extended family, right? So when COVID was going around, January of 2021, I get a phone call from my mother. And, she's saying, oh, she's sick. And she tested positive for COVID, January of 2021. And even though I wasn't getting along with my mom because of, all the stuff that she's been doing, occasionally, she would have contact with my son because I'm the only child. He is her only grandchild. And my mother, she doesn't date. She doesn't have any friends outside of coworkers. She doesn't really have anybody outside of me and my son, or, relatives that live in different cities, different states. So my son didn't have any symptoms, but he was around her. He tested positive for COVID, January of 2021. And so, of course, my son had been around me the whole time. So this was 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, my son was 14. He's 17 now. So, he doesn't have any symptoms. I test negative. I had been around people with COVID prior to this situation. So I've probably been tested for COVID maybe 5 times, but each time they've all come back negative. So, because I'm the only child, and my mom doesn't have any friends outside of coworkers, and she doesn't date or anything like that, I had to take care of my mother and my son. January of 2021. Now, thank Jesus that, she was only sick for a couple of days, and it wasn't too bad. And my son, he didn't have any symptoms, and I kept on testing negative, right? But this is just an example of what Jesus is referring to when he says obedience is greater than the sacrifice. Sometimes the sacrifice is the obedience, because even though COVID isn't anything new, and you can see it on the back of a Lysol can and all these things, we are familiar with people who have gotten it and lived, or gotten it and not lived, or gotten vaccinated. Like, there's so many different scenarios, and unfortunately, you don't know which category you fall into. I've worked with people who have lost loved ones. I know people who have lost people close to them, from COVID. So I love Jesus because, and my Bible's back there. I read my Bible, so it has like a cute little Bible cover and all that. So that's my Bible. But I love Jesus because, he tests us. Because I took care of my son, and I took care of my mother, and I didn't have a mask on because I'm like, well, I've been around my son, so it just didn't make sense to wear a mask. But at the same time, I was risking my life and my health to save them. My mother doesn't live with me; she has her own place, so. Of course, like, I leave the house, I wear a mask, stuff like that. But I'm taking care of both of them at the same time, after everything that she's put me through, since March of 2014. And, Jesus will test us. And a lot of times you don't have like a whole lot of time to make a decision. You could say what you'll do in certain situations, or you might think you love Jesus, or you might think your faith is strong, but certain situations will come and you don't really know how you're going to handle certain things, or how strong your faith is, until you're tested, right? So I hope and pray that this word blesses you, because my mom is, one of those people that people complain about, a Bible thumper. And people say, oh, well, that's why I don't go to church. That's why I don't do this. That's why I don't do that. But I pray that this word blesses you. Like, don't wait until you need God to need God. My mom was the perfect candidate for COVID. Unfortunately, she got into a really bad accident several years ago when I was 14. So my mom has had 11 surgeries, right? Because she was in the military, they conditioned her to, work out, eat a certain way, take your vitamins, have a family doctor, take care of yourself. So even though she had the accident, she was able to bounce back, because her body was conditioned prior to. And even though she is, the perfect candidate for COVID, right? Because she's been taking her vitamins and drinking water and, doing all these things prior to catching it, she was prepared. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but my family is very big on breastfeeding. So my grandmother, her mother breastfed all her kids. I was breastfed. I breastfed my son. So I don't know if that helped anything, but my mom was only sick for like 3 days. My son didn't have any symptoms at all, and I always test negative. So, but obedience is the sacrifice, and don't look at other people and say, well, that's why I don't believe, that's why I don't go to church, that's why. You go to church for you. You don't go there for people. You don't go there for the pastor. And it's kind of like anything else. If I give you my offer, my tithes, and you say that it's for the building fund, and we never get a new building, that's between you and God. Once I give you something, you have to live with that. That's your conscience. That's not for me to worry about it. But I hope and pray that this word blesses you. Stay encouraged, keep the faith, and Jesus loves you. God bless.